My beloved child. Hold your thoughts for just a heartbeat, because what you are about to hear has been moving quietly beneath the surface of your life for far longer than you realize. Nothing arrived by accident. Nothing unfolded without purpose. There is a reason these words found you today instead of yesterday, and there is an even greater reason they could not wait until tomorrow. There is a truth that has finally crossed the path of the person who has occupied your heart. Not a rumor. Not a coincidence. A realization. It arrived gently, almost unnoticed, like the first light entering a room before anyone opens their eyes. Yet the moment it settled inside them, everything they believed about you began to change. Archangel Michael says there are moments when the strongest walls are not broken by force, they are softened by understanding. Your soulmate has carried assumptions that felt permanent. They believed they had already figured you out. They convinced themselves they understood your silence, your distance, your choices, and even your moments of hesitation. But now, a hidden piece of your story has appeared before them, and it refuses to fit the picture they once created. Pause for a second and ask yourself this. What happens when someone suddenly realizes they misunderstood a person who mattered more than they ever admitted? That question is becoming the center of their thoughts. Their heart is not wounded because they discovered something terrible. It is hurting because they finally recognized something beautiful they failed to see before. There is a difference between regret and loss. Regret whispers, "I should have looked closer." Loss asks, "Is it already too late to make this right?" Stay with this message, because another layer is about to unfold. For a long time, your soulmate interpreted your quiet moments as indifference. They mistook patience for distance. They confused your restraint with uncertainty. Yet every passing day has been quietly collecting pieces of evidence that tell a completely different story. Now those pieces have begun forming a picture they cannot ignore. Every forgotten conversation. Every unfinished goodbye. Every memory they pushed aside. Every moment they thought meant nothing. All of them have returned with unexpected clarity. Archangel Michael says awareness often arrives after certainty has already collapsed. That is exactly where your soulmate stands today. Their confidence in their old beliefs has faded, replaced by questions they never expected to ask. Could they have judged too quickly? Could they have walked away before understanding your heart? Could they have mistaken your strength for coldness? Those questions are echoing louder than they expected. And here is what makes this moment extraordinary. The truth they uncovered is not changing only the way they see you. It is changing the way they see themselves. Because every realization about another person becomes a mirror. It reflects our own decisions, our own fears, and the moments we wish we could revisit. You may wonder why this message has appeared now. Because timing carries its own language. Some truths cannot be spoken until hearts become ready enough to receive them. Had this realization arrived months ago, it might have been ignored. Had it appeared years from now, the opportunity to grow from it might have already passed. But today, everything feels different. You may not notice it with your eyes. You may not hear it with your ears. Yet something invisible has already begun moving. Think carefully. Have you sensed an unusual stillness recently? A feeling that something unfinished is quietly waiting? A gentle expectation you could never explain? Sometimes the soul recognizes change before the mind finds words for it. Archangel Michael says the greatest turning points rarely announce themselves with noise. They begin with a single realization inside one person's heart. From there, every conversation, every decision, every unexpected meeting starts aligning in ways that seem impossible until they finally happen. Your soulmate is standing at the edge of one of those realizations now. Not because someone forced them. Not because circumstances demanded it. Because truth reached them when they were finally able to hear it. Wait a little longer. There is another detail they have not fully understood yet. They know they were mistaken. But they still do not understand how deeply your quiet strength has shaped the path ahead. That discovery is still approaching. And when it arrives, it will answer a question they have been carrying without even realizing it exists. So don't rush past this moment. Sometimes the most powerful changes begin long before anyone speaks a single word. The silence you see today may already be preparing tomorrow's conversation. And what unfolds next may reveal why this truth had to reach your soulmate before destiny could open the next door. A quiet shift has already begun, but do not mistake silence for stillness. Some of the greatest changes happen without a single visible sign, and this is one of those moments. If you listen with your heart instead of your fears, you may notice that something is steadily moving into place. The story is no longer about what was misunderstood. It is becoming about what can finally be understood. Archangel Michael says your soulmate has entered a season of reflection unlike anything they have experienced before. They keep returning to the same memories, not because they are trapped in the past, but because those memories suddenly carry meanings they never recognized before. It is as though someone quietly turned on a light inside a room they believed they had already explored. Every corner now reveals something they somehow missed. Have you ever reread a letter years later and discovered words you overlooked the first time? Life often works that way. The heart hears differently once it is ready. Your soulmate recently found themselves remembering a conversation they had almost forgotten. At the time, your words seemed ordinary. They nodded, smiled, and moved on. But now, those same words echo with unexpected depth. They finally realize that behind your calm voice was extraordinary patience. Behind your restraint was remarkable courage. Behind your silence was respect rather than distance. That realization has not brought them peace. It has brought them humility. Because it is difficult to admit that someone was loving you in ways you never noticed. Stay close to this message, because another piece is about to fall into place. Archangel Michael says every meaningful connection reaches a crossroads where truth becomes impossible to avoid. Your soulmate has reached that point. They are beginning to understand that their assumptions created unnecessary distance. They expected certainty before offering trust. They searched for perfect timing while overlooking genuine moments already unfolding around them. Now they wonder. What if I was looking in the wrong direction the entire time? That question has quietly become part of their daily thoughts. The interesting part is this: they are no longer searching for flaws in you. Instead, they are searching for the moments where they misunderstood your intentions. Every answer uncovers another layer. Every layer softens another piece of their heart. And with every new realization, the image they once held of you continues to transform. Archangel Michael says growth often feels uncomfortable because it asks us to release old stories that no longer serve us. Your soulmate is letting go of one story after another. They are no longer holding on to the version of you created by fear, uncertainty, or incomplete understanding. A new picture is quietly taking its place. One built on honesty. One built on respect. One built on appreciation. That picture feels more real than anything they believed before. If these words are touching your heart, perhaps someone else may need this reminder too. If you feel inspired, you can share this message, leave a comment about the moment that spoke to you most, and subscribe so we can continue walking through these meaningful reflections together. Sometimes one shared message arrives exactly when another heart is ready to hear it. Now listen carefully to what comes next. There is one truth your soulmate has not yet fully accepted. They have realized they misunderstood you. But they have not yet realized how deeply you believed in them, even during the moments when they questioned everything. That discovery is approaching. Imagine the weight of recognizing that someone quietly wished you well, even when they themselves received little in return. That realization has the power to reshape an entire future. Archangel Michael says kindness leaves traces that time cannot erase. Your quiet choices, your moments of patience, your decision not to answer every misunderstanding with another misunderstanding, those moments were never wasted. They became silent witnesses. And now those witnesses are speaking louder than words ever could. You might wonder why everything seems delayed. Perhaps nothing was delayed. Perhaps every lesson simply needed enough time to mature. There are seasons when answers arrive immediately. Then there are seasons when answers become stronger because they waited. Your soulmate is beginning to understand that this waiting was never empty. It was preparing both of you to see each other through clearer eyes. The most remarkable part has not happened yet. Because once truth enters a heart, it naturally seeks expression. Thoughts become conversations. Conversations become decisions. Decisions become new beginnings. That process has already started. You cannot rush it. You do not need to force it. Its strength comes from unfolding naturally. So remain patient just a little longer. Another hidden piece is about to reveal why your soulmate's heart feels both hopeful and deeply moved at the same time. And when that final realization reaches them, even they may be surprised by the direction their heart chooses next. A single quiet realization can change the direction of an entire journey. And what is unfolding now is far greater than a passing emotion. Stay with these words for a little longer, because the next chapter is where everything begins to connect. The truth your soulmate uncovered is no longer sitting quietly inside their thoughts. It is beginning to shape the choices they make every single day. Archangel Michael says there comes a moment when the heart grows tired of pretending it feels nothing. No matter how carefully someone hides their emotions, truth has a way of rising to the surface. Your soulmate has reached that place. They may still appear calm on the outside. They may continue with their daily routines as though everything is ordinary. But beneath that calmness, something remarkable is taking place. Their perspective is changing. Not suddenly. Not dramatically. But steadily, with every passing day. The truth they learned about you continues to return to them in unexpected moments. While walking through familiar places, while hearing an old song, while watching people cross paths, your presence quietly enters their thoughts. They are no longer asking whether you mattered. They already know you did. Now they are asking something much deeper. Why didn't I understand this sooner? That question has become impossible for them to ignore. Archangel Michael says wisdom rarely arrives through perfect moments. It often arrives through reflection. Your soulmate has been reflecting more than anyone realizes. They have replayed conversations they once dismissed. They have remembered the kindness you offered without expecting anything in return. They have noticed how often you chose peace over proving yourself right. Little by little, the pieces continue fitting together. And with every piece that falls into place, another misunderstanding quietly disappears. Imagine looking at a beautiful painting from only a few inches away. All you would see are scattered colors. But the moment you step back, the picture finally makes sense. That is exactly what is happening inside your soulmate's heart. They are stepping back. They are seeing the whole picture. For the first time, they recognize that your actions always carried a quiet consistency. You never needed loud promises because your character spoke through the smallest moments. You never demanded recognition because your heart was never competing for attention. That realization has touched them more deeply than they expected. Archangel Michael says there is incredible strength in people who remain true to themselves even when they are misunderstood. You may not have realized it, but your steady nature became something your soulmate now admires. They once viewed it as distance. Now they recognize it as maturity. What a powerful difference understanding can make. Stay close. Because another layer is about to unfold. Your soulmate has begun noticing something else. The people around them speak about you differently than before. Small comments, unexpected observations, little reminders appear when they least expect them. None of these moments are dramatic. Yet together they create a pattern that is impossible to overlook. It feels as though life itself keeps gently reminding them of the truth they almost missed. Not to create regret, but to create awareness. Awareness opens doors that fear can never unlock. Archangel Michael says every meaningful connection reaches a point where appreciation replaces assumption. That point has finally arrived. Your soulmate no longer measures your worth by fleeting emotions or temporary circumstances. They have started seeing the lasting qualities that quietly surrounded you all along. Your patience. Your honesty. Your resilience. Your ability to keep moving forward without losing your kindness. These qualities now shine brighter in their eyes than ever before. Perhaps the most surprising part is this. The truth that hurt them is not something you did against them. It is the realization that they underestimated someone who genuinely cared. That understanding carries weight. Not because it creates guilt, but because it inspires change. Change begins inside. Long before anyone speaks. Long before anyone reaches out. Long before any visible step is taken. Archangel Michael says the heart first changes in silence. If these
Only
words have
afterward
found a
does the
place
world
within
begin
you,
to notice.
carry them with hope rather than expectation. Destiny unfolds most beautifully when it is allowed to breathe. There is no need to chase what is already finding its own way toward clarity. And now, one final thought before this chapter comes to a close. Your soulmate has accepted the truth. They have accepted that they misunderstood you. They have accepted that your heart held more sincerity than they once believed. But there is still one question they have not answered. What will they do with this new understanding? That answer has not fully revealed itself yet. It is quietly taking shape. The next step will not be driven by emotion alone. It will be guided by wisdom, courage, and a desire to honor what they now know to be true. So hold on to this sense of quiet anticipation. Because the story has reached a turning point. And what happens next will not simply reveal how your soulmate feels. It will reveal the choice they are preparing to make now that the truth has finally become impossible to ignore. A door that seemed permanently closed has begun to open, not because someone forced it, but because understanding has quietly found its way inside. Do not hurry past this moment. The next few minutes may reveal why every delay carried a purpose you could not see before. Archangel Michael says there are seasons when the heart stops asking, "Who was right?" and begins asking, "What truly matters now?" Your soulmate has entered that season. The questions that once filled their mind with uncertainty have become quieter. In their place, a different voice has appeared, a voice that keeps reminding them of your character, your patience, and the steady way you carried yourself even when no one noticed. They have started realizing something extraordinary. The truth they discovered about you was never meant to make them feel defeated. It was meant to awaken them. Awaken them to the value of sincerity. Awaken them to the quiet strength that often goes unseen. Awaken them to the possibility that genuine connections are built on understanding rather than assumptions. Take a moment and consider this. How many beautiful things are overlooked simply because they arrive without noise? The brightest stars are not always the loudest. The deepest rivers do not announce their strength. And the most meaningful people often reveal their greatness through consistency rather than attention. Archangel Michael says your soulmate now sees those qualities within you more clearly than ever before. They remember moments they once considered ordinary, yet now each memory carries unexpected significance. A thoughtful message. A kind gesture. A calm response during a difficult moment. A smile that expected nothing in return. These memories no longer feel small. Together, they have become undeniable proof of the truth they finally understand. Stay with this message. Because another realization is quietly approaching. Your soulmate has begun imagining what life might have looked like if they had understood your heart sooner. This is not about dwelling on the past. It is about appreciating what was always present but rarely recognized. Sometimes wisdom arrives after experience. Sometimes appreciation follows understanding. And sometimes destiny gives people another opportunity, not because they were perfect, but because they have grown. That growth is unfolding now. Archangel Michael says every sincere realization plants the seed of a new beginning. Yet seeds do not become strong overnight. They grow quietly beneath the surface before anyone can see the first sign of change. The same is happening here. Your soulmate is allowing this new understanding to settle deeply within them. They no longer wish to react from old fears or incomplete stories. Instead, they are choosing to move forward with greater clarity. And clarity changes everything. It changes how someone remembers. It changes how someone listens. It changes how someone values another person's presence. Most importantly, it changes the decisions they are willing to make. If these reflections have encouraged you, and if they have brought even a little peace to your heart, you are warmly invited to share this message with someone who may need it. Leave a comment with the thought that stayed with you the longest, and subscribe if you would like to continue this journey together. Sometimes one quiet message reaches exactly the heart it was meant for. Now listen closely. There is one final piece your soulmate has only begun to sense. They have realized the truth about you. They have recognized your quiet strength. They have accepted that their earlier understanding was incomplete. But another discovery is waiting just beyond the horizon. They are beginning to understand that your influence reached their life in ways they never noticed. Your encouragement shaped their confidence. Your patience softened difficult moments. Your example quietly inspired them to become a better version of themselves. That realization carries a special kind of gratitude. Not the gratitude that fades after a single day. The kind that changes a person's future. Archangel Michael says when gratitude and truth meet in the same heart, hesitation slowly gives way to courage. The distance created by misunderstanding begins to disappear. New possibilities emerge, not because fate suddenly changed, but because perception finally did. You may not see every step being taken. You may not hear every thought crossing their mind. Yet something meaningful is already moving forward. The story has entered a new chapter. One where wisdom is replacing uncertainty. One where appreciation is replacing assumptions. One where hope is quietly preparing the way for what comes next. Remain patient. Remain steady. Because the next chapter will not simply reveal what your soulmate has decided to believe. It will reveal the unexpected step they are preparing to take. Now that the truth has completely transformed the way they see you,